If you hear me!
And all that jazz.
What's happening, good people, and welcome back to another episode of Burn It Down, Holler If You Hear Me's Hot Takes. Yes, it's me, your humble host, Fraz, and joining me this week is Dirty Dave. We have no Andi Nero because he is working his little pig's heart out. However, before we get into it, please hit the like button, smash the bell for notifications, and if you're not already subscribed, please do so because we post weekly wrestling content that you cannot miss. So without further ado, Dave, I think we should get into it.
Yeah, just first off, a massive shout out to anyone who's got 2K25. I think you can get the Attitude Pack as of today, the 17th of September. Go and download it. Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, D'Lo Brown, Mark Henry, Victoria. Tune in to our shorts and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But other than that, let's crack on with Burn It Down.
With Burn It Down. Indeed, Billy Gunn on WWE 2K25. My God, what time to be alive. Well, let's move on.
Interesting, though, because he's in AEW and they don't have anyone else on there, like Ric Flair or anyone. So it is interesting that they've done it. But yes, let's move on. Let's burn everything down.
How could you possibly not include him? He's the greatest of all time. Well, bar a few, but...
So let's burn it down then. What's next?
Hold that thought. SmackDown. First hot take I've got here. I wonder if Randy is going to find a way to get added to this match, or he screws Drew over at WrestlePalooza. Either way, we will get a triple threat match at some point down the road with these three.
Maybe. I'd probably see Orton turning heel on Cody before it. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be upset with that match. I'm not sure if I see it coming yet. I mean, possibly at the next PLE. But it's all relevant to how the storyline's going to go with Orton being out, because they've said he's out injured, haven't they? So we'll just have to see. I'd love to see it. But I'd be happy no matter what happened. I think I'd be happy if Orton turned on Cody, and I'd be happy if Cody turned on Orton. So, yeah, I mean, those three, you can't really do anything wrong with them three, can you? It's Drew,
no, I think it's going to be incredible,
and Cody. So, yeah, fantastic. Just what the championship needs, I think.
It's 100%. I would like to see this happen. I think it will happen. Spoiler alert for our prediction show. I do think that Randy Orton is going to make an appearance this Saturday. But with that being said, let's move on to the next one. I get having Sami pre-reveal his first open challenge opponent, but I hope this isn't how they do it going forward. The anticipation and surprise of a mystery opponent coming out to the ring is one of the main things that makes open challenges so great. I tend to agree.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I was slightly disappointed. I think the only thing I can think of this week is it was a bit random. Rey Fenix has been teaming with Andrade, who we've now found out has been released. So, yeah, interesting one. So maybe WWE were like, oh, people might not react in the crowd, or they might be confused. So they just did this little bit before. I don't like it. I personally find it all a bit fake and phony. And yes, I know wrestling's fake and phony, but I don't want to see Sami giving everybody high fives before the match and telling them how much they deserve it and how great it is. I just find it woolly and patronising. I used to hate it when Cena done it. Yeah, it should be a surprise. They should come out. They should give it their all. They should have the match of the night because it's their opportunity, especially for something important like the US title. And then, yeah, all right, shake hands at the end or low blow each other at the end. But I don't need to see a lot of nonsense at the beginning. Doesn't do it for me, I'm afraid.
Well, and he already announced who he's fighting next week. He's got Mello, hasn't he? This Friday, sorry. Which again, his dog. I mean, if Mello wins, it would be incredible. But Sami ain't dropping that title for another few weeks at least.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing, isn't it? It's relatively predictable. So maybe at the moment, when you know he's not going to lose, you might as well tell us who's coming out. I suppose. I don't know. No, no. it's cheap for me. It takes away from it. I think I don't see the point. The attraction for you to come and watch SmackDown should be that your US champion is a big enough name and he's running an open US challenge. And the attraction should be not knowing who he's fighting, and that should make you want to tune in to watch the show. You shouldn't need to name drop the opponent to try and boost your ratings, because I think it does the opposite. It's got to stop spoon feeding everyone. It's just boring. It's just boring. A bit more flexible, less spoon feeding, please. Thank you.
Next, I might just be the only one who thinks this, but the women's division on SmackDown is on its last legs as there's no fresh feuds going on. The match quality, like we've seen tonight, just isn't up to Raw's standard, and I think it's crying out for a lot of NXT call-ups.
I think,
I mean, I already said, didn't I, on our news drop, that
go and watch it, by the way.
Women's division is dog shit. I don't know about NXT call-ups, but just booking people in a feud that actually... I mean, look at Julia and bloody Meechin. It's terrible. They're not even having matches at the minute. They're just...
No.
Anyway.
I mean, you've got two fantastic women wrestlers on SmackDown that are the current tag team champions, but that does limit them. And when they're not on the show, you see the weakness in the division. At the moment, they can't be having other feuds to help elevate other competitors because they're in the tag division. Obviously, you have a fantastic women's wrestler in the Wyatt Six who isn't wrestling. So on SmackDown, you've got three fantastic women that have the ability to put on a great match, that have the ability to make other talent look better, and anyone who gets in the ring with Charlotte or, well, any of those three are going to look better for it, as opposed to just keep fighting who they keep fighting. So it's a bit tricky. If those three women are not fighting on SmackDown, I agree. I don't think there's much going on in the women's division. But they're all in storylines, so we've just got to wait and see how we go with that. But yeah, I completely agree. It's pants. You should be doing more
solution.
Those women.
I have a solution. There's someone who I'm not a big fan of, but you and Andy are, and that's Chelsea Green. She should be the champion. That's heel.
Yeah.
And then you know Tiffy's held it for far too long anyway, so it's stale.
Yep.
Even if Mangill won, that still doesn't spring for me and go, wow, this is going to be amazing. So get Chelsea Green, give her the title, and then she's a chicken shit heel that everyone wants to see lose, but she just keep beating people like Mangill, Tiffy, even Nia Jax can turn face. Like, just get a load of them and line them up, and she can knock them down until such time there's a big enough star.
Well, you've got the tag team champions, and you've got the White Six, and then for me, you've got the Secret Hervis, and you're right, Chelsea Green. There's 5 female competitors there that are all absolutely fantastic. They're all over in their own way, and they should all be doing more than they're doing. And instead, we're getting the same old from everybody else. So I would definitely add the Secret Hervis and Chelsea Green onto my original 3 that I spoke about. So the division's there. It's just not being used.
Cool. I think after his match with Cena, Brock Lesnar and John Cena should hug it out in the ring. Brock Lesnar with his cowboy character is so much better as a face or a tweener. He's funny, does whatever he wants, and everyone that has a problem with it should get it. Well,
yeah, Brock can do. I mean, it depends what we're
getting.
Do what
he wants, can't it?
It depends what we're getting. Yeah, 100%. He's. Can't really. I mean, he's unique. I was going to say he's a bit like Psycho Sid, who 1 minute, could be shaking your hand, and the next minute he could be choke slamming you. He was a real tweener back in the day. But Brock's just so unique. His entrance music hits, and everybody absolutely loves him. He comes out, says a few negative things, and everybody's booing him. And then he F5s people, splits his pants, puts his hat back on, and he's laughing, and everyone's cheering and laughing. So, yeah, that match. It depends what the storyline is for that match. Would I be unhappy for? However that match ends, for those two to shake hands and have mutual respect for each other? They both came up through OVW. Could I see that happening? Yes. If it doesn't happen, am I going to be upset? No.
No.
I'd be, I'm just looking forward to the match, and whatever the outcome is whatever the outcome, and I'm just going to try and enjoy it. I don't need them to hug it out, but yeah, I could see it happening. It could definitely happen, and it would be cool. But it could also be equally cool F5ing or FUing or attitude adjustmenting people through tables afterwards. Who knows? Or someone else coming out to get involved at the end. Who knows? Because we need to start setting up Cena's final match, or do we need to start setting up Survivor Series? Plenty of room for hugs, but I don't see it.
Personally, I would have had Brock and Andi Nero center the stage. Oh, the big man is back.
Maybe he's going to do
I'm just checking to see if you can hear me.
And go for a win.
Yeah, we can hear you, mate. We can hear you, boy. Are you going to take a piss like I did, or?
No, I'll join. I don't care. I'm just not going to can.
Ah, excellent. Well, we're just doing Burn It Down hot takes at the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Andi Nero, if you're listening to us on Spotify, has just joined the chat. As I said, he was working his little pig's heart out, choosing real life over what is the YouTube channel. Disgusting behaviour. But anyway, how are you, Andy?
Yeah, I'm tired. I've barely slept today, so good as gold, mate. Good as gold.
Oh, Magico. Right. Well, you've just joined us at a time where we are doing Raw hot takes. So I'll start with the first one, and I'll give this to you. Give Asuka the world title with her new heel run soon.
Don't get me wrong. I'm actually quite enjoying what she's doing backstage with Kyrie every time. It has got a shelf life to it. I think it is going to get old pretty quick, but at the minute I'm enjoying it. Yeah, why not? She's one of the greatest ever to do it in terms of the females, so I can't see a reason not to do it. Yes.
Magic. David?
I can't. I wouldn't say it's world championship material. I'm not taken away from Asuka. I think she's fantastic. She always has been. She always will be. But I think this current triangle split thing is more to build EO, to separate EO even further from them and build EO towards the championship. But yeah, Asuka needs to be in the spotlight. She can have major matches with anyone. I don't see it being a title winning sort of storyline, if I'm being honest. But no.
Just remind me, gentlemen, is Asuka a hurly-burly man?
That's a negative, Ghost Rider.
She's a hurly-burly woman. not to the same degree as like one Piper Niven, but she's still pretty hurly-burly.
No, I mean, I have no thoughts on this hot take, but I appreciate you and your life. 5 shows left for Cena. There is no way he retires at the end of the year. He is not retiring until WrestleMania. Dave?
Well, I did originally think that, but I don't know. What can you say? He's said right from the beginning, that's the final date. Let's see what happens. If we get any more out of him, fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it flip a coin 50-50. It could go either way. But he'll probably be heading to Saudi in a couple of years in some capacity.
How about you, Andy? What do you feel about that?
I think it's going to be a soft retirement. I think it's going to be a retirement in the same way that many of them retire. You never really retire from the ring. I mean, how many times has Ric Flair retired? And that's still that motherfucker's still trying to go. I think it'll be a case of when Saudi pop up enough dough, or when he gets a bit of an itch, or if he's sort of getting a bit bored sitting at home, not filming anything, maybe he'll say, I'll come back for a few months or whatever. But yeah, might be a match here or there, but it's not a hard, fast, I am done forever sort of deal, I don't think.
I, for one, would absolutely love it if he didn't retire and his last match was actually at WrestleMania and it was against Billy Gunn.
Naturally.
I think it's time for Penta to call for some backup and get his brother on Raw. When this happens, I feel like it's going to be the first big step they are going to take to fix the tag division and get the titles on a team that will actually defend them and not be accessories.
Is it my go?
Yeah, you can have that one.
If you put them together in the tag division, it's what's the word? Too reticent of what they were doing in AEW. Like, it's literally carbon copy. I like the fact that they're singles guys. They never work together. I don't believe in Lucha Underground. Rarely work together in CMLL and AAA or whatever. Like, AEW was a case of we've got two Mexican guys, let's put them together with Pac, and it sort of worked for a while. But I would say no, keep them separate. Maybe have them come together and apart, a bit like the Brothers of Destruction, really. Hermanos de Destrucción or something, and do that, but not constant tagging.
Dave, do you agree? Disagree?
Oh, well, I mean, there's not agree or disagree, but I mean, I'd love to see him as a tag team even for a short period of time. Now, Andrade has been released or has left. Ray's a bit stuck now. Penta needs support on Raw. I think Penta should be a champion. He should have been a champion by now in some capacity. I think the championships on Raw are a joke. The Intercontinental title hardly gets defended. The tag titles hardly get defended. The champs are hardly ever on the show to start with. I'm all for even 6 weeks, 2 months. I'd love to have them on as tag champs and do a good run every single week. Make those belts mean something, and put on the amazing shows that they're putting on. And then they can separate off again. I don't think it needs to be a long-term thing, but something is drastically needed on Raw. And those two, specifically Penta, deserve a championship after the phenomenal year that they've had. So, I'd be up for that.
I believe, gentlemen, this is the time. This is where the tide turns. If Penta and his brother form a tag team, we have the Usos at the moment who are potentially going to stay together. We've got Bronson and Braun. We've got the New Day. There are so many tag teams now that we could have this beautiful back and forth where, like you say, the title could mean something. And it makes perfect sense. I, for one, totally agree with your hot take. And let's make it happen rather than watching the Womb Raiders against Alpha Academy. Is that what they're called? No, the Creed Brothers.
American Made or something.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
So,
On that, we've had a great run. Well, we had a decent run with the SmackDown division. The Raw division has been weak because there's been no real headlining tag team.
Correct. Yeah.
It's this. Dave's right. It would be almost like the golden age of tag team wrestling with that many decent teams in one place. You'd have to think that SmackDown is like preparing for the second wave of that, in the same way that NXT prepared people for the main roster. These tag teams on SmackDown are preparing to join that should people like, I don't know, the Usos split, Penta and Ray split. It's that sort of thing. But at the moment, it's just a case of there's all this potential, and we've still got the straps on Judgment Day, and the Singlet Boys and the Warriors or whatever they're called are just spinning the drains, circling the drains. No, I agree.
Final hot take for Raw. They've nailed the go home segment. Seth and Becky and Punk and AJ is going to steal the show at WrestlePalooza. The chemistry between all four of them is unreal, and you can feel it every time they interact. I expect Punk and AJ to take the win and punch their tickets to future title shots. David?
I suppose technically it wasn't the go home segment of the show. It wasn't the main event, was it? But it was their go home segment midway through Raw. It was good. I thought it ran a little bit too long, but it's definitely been the highlight for the build up to WrestlePalooza. AJ's taken a finishing maneuver in the ring, which means she knows what to expect now at WrestlePalooza. So again, flip a coin. I'd love AJ and Punk to win. And I would be up for an AJ Becky feud, and obviously I think I really want Punk and Seth Rollins in an awesome one-on-one stipulation type match at WrestleMania. So we've got plenty of fun to be had by this, and whatever happens, WrestlePalooza isn't the end of this. So strap in and let's keep going. But I would like to see Punk get a victory here, and specifically AJ.
Andy?
Well, I shouldn't really need to explain it. Punk and AJ need to go over here. I think it's important that they do, specifically for the reasons that if you have Seth and Becky go over, there's nothing for Punk and AJ to do. Punk can make the claim that he should have a world title shot. AJ can make the claim she should have an intercontinental title shot, and you build to the next pay per view after that. It's simple storytelling. However, um, I do feel like incoming soon, maybe maybe Punk and Seth have a title match at the next pay per view, whatever that happens to be. Um, pretty much whenever AEW's probably got a show somewhere else. But it'll be a case of I think Punk's due a bit of time off, perhaps, because he's been working pretty solid since January, and with no time off. So I wouldn't be surprised if he took a bit of an injury angle, had a month off, and then came back rebuilding towards whatever's happening in December, Royal Rumble, something like that, to build to Mania, to do what Dave said. Maybe.
That's a good twist, actually. Yeah, it gives him an excuse to be off TV for a bit. Maybe AJ gets hurt and they have to take some time off. Maybe they win, but there's an after-match altercation because they've already said they're going to target AJ's neck, haven't they? So maybe that's a good way to get him off TV for a couple of weeks, couple of months. Yeah, sounds good, Andy. Definitely feasible, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Punk. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't be surprised to see Punk have an injury of some kind, like a worked injury, just to give them some time away, make sure that they're not too burnt out. I mean, they seem like they're having fun. Punk seems like he's a 43-year-old man acting like a 23-year-old man. Do you know what I mean? He seems so full of life at the minute with AJ there. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's time that they had some time away, specifically Punk, just to sort of refresh and recharge the batteries. Because Seth even had time off earlier this year as well. So
well, Seth hardly wrestles. He might be on the show every week, but he's only wrestled twice in the last 2 months, hasn't he?
Well, exactly, yeah. And there's
Or
Punk
3
taking
months.
bumps every month or every week, taking bumps from Bronson and Braun for the last 3 months, and it's like, give the guy a break.
Yeah, he's done all the European tours, hasn't he? He's done all the tours. He's been on everything, all the house shows. Yeah, he's done very well. Definitely getting your money out of CM Punk.
Indeed. And, just for the internet keyboard warriors out there who are saying WWE is super predictable, well, how fucking predictable would it be if CM Punk and AJ win this match and then go on and win the titles? Boring. I don't want to see it. Up the Seth. We'll move on to our first viewer hot take, and that is one part of the flower pot men, Ben. With Mania heading to Saudi, is this the perfect opportunity for Tony Khan to host a mega event on home turf at the same time? If so, how do AEW make that event stand out and get people watching or buying tickets? Is it time to bring in a Goldberg or equally massive name? I'm just going to answer the end of that one. Do not dare get Goldberg or a massive name in there. That is disgusting. Andy, I'm going to throw this one over to you, AEW man.
Yeah, I think what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If WWE are going to keep counterproducing AEW, then why not give them a bit of their own medicine on home turf? Hell, even why not book Madison Square Garden? Just be like, we're going to take a shit in your fucking back garden, mate. Because I think it would do excellent work. I don't agree with getting some quote unquote big name like a Goldberg. I think the whole point to AEW is that it needs to be the alternative. It's not just celebrities or old school wrestlers that turn up and just wrestle one match and then fuck off forever. It needs to be a case of building someone like MJF or Darby Allin or Orange or Hangman or something like that to show that we have our own homegrown stars that can do everything and we dedicate our time to that, But yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
Well,
get Wardlow involved.
Soon he can stay.
He's injured again.
He's injured again after one fucking bump.
Dave?
Oh man, I agree. But I'd go for it. I think I said to you during the week, actually, I would go down to Dallas, Texas and get in that big monstrous stadium, and I wouldn't even give a shit if I was giving the tickets away for free. I would, because I think there's so many. There's so many different ways you can attack the WWE at the moment. Ticket pricing, the fact that the bottom line is the absolute bottom line is they've gone to Saudi for the money. There are dozens and dozens of countries that deserve WrestleMania before the Saudis do. I don't really care about it being in Saudi. I just care about it, how it's all worked. And like I say, you know, it should have gone to other countries first. Other countries' fans have paid far more money over the last 40 years when they come to watch wrestling. I mean, look at the UK, look at France, look at Germany, look at Italy. These countries where people are spending vast amount of money, and we travel every year. Europeans travel every year over to WrestleMania, you know, and 30% of the crowd at WrestleMania is made up by, you know, Europeans spending their hard-earned money. And how do we repay them? Oh, we don't. We put it in Saudi Arabia. So, I think that sucks. The constant ticket price hike sucks. We're going to get to a point where families can't go and you're not going to get real fans. We've already spoke about how horrific the crowd was at SummerSlam. So, yeah, if I was AEW, I would be proud of doing everything the complete opposite. I would go down to that AT&T stadium that they have WrestleMania 32 and 38 in. Try and pack it out. Try and get 100,000 fans. Give the tickets away free. I honestly, I wouldn't care. Promote it as you can't call it the Great American Bash, but let's call it something like that. Let's make it really patriotic. Let's make it really cheap. You know, WWF have done this before. The '97 Royal Rumble. They were selling tickets for the '97 Royal Rumble in the Alamo Dome for $10, just to pack it out. So who gives a shit? You know, it's business. Would I capitalize on it, and would I do what, you know? Steal a quote from Eric Bischoff. I'm going to do the opposite of what they're doing. Do it. I would. 100%. I'd love to see it.
I would love to hear your take on it, people at home. So leave a comment. And obviously, if you've got a hot take that you want us to read out next week, do it. Let's move on to the last two hot takes. Andy, you're not allowed to answer this one because this is actually one of your hot takes, because I didn't think you were going to be on tonight. Finn Balor is the best choice for a main event push in 2026. Cody and Roman dialing it back. Punk has Seth. Balor deserves a top of the card run. Well, based off his return at NXT Homecoming last night and me thinking that his theme music is possibly the greatest of all time, and I'm screwing that I didn't put him in my top 5. Yes, I agree with this. For a short period, absolutely. But yeah, why not? Fucking hell. He came so close, was it last year? With Damian Priest. Why not just let him have it for a little bit?
Last year or year before.
Yeah. Dave?
Oh, 100%. I mean, we said on our It's True video, so go back and watch that, everybody. It's a great video that's dropping this week. What a difference. You know, we're talking about the tag titles meaning nothing, Judgment Day not really doing anything, Raw being pedestrian and not really having anything for you to tune in and watch or care about. And, you know, 48 hours later, Finn Balor's having an amazing segment and an amazing moment at NXT, and all is forgiven and the crowd are going nuts. He's amazing. He's being absolutely wasted. The tag belts are being wasted. There's so much more we can get out of Balor. And yeah, I completely agree. I know that was Andy's hot take. I know you've put your little spin on it as well. And yeah, I completely agree. I think he deserves to come out of the shadows in 2026 and take the spotlight a little bit more.
Beautiful. Final hot take, our comedy hot take. This guy, I work with him. His name is Troy Palmer. He is a funny guy, and he should be part of the show. He doesn't watch wrestling. He hasn't watched it since he was about 10. But his hot take is X-Pac was the first wrestler I liked as a young infidel, specifically when playing SmackDown 2 on the PlayStation. Andy and Dave, who was your favourite to play with?
Other than myself.
Absolutely. I was hoping one of you said that.
We're talking about SmackDown again.
We're talking about
maybe
SmackDown 2. Shut Your Mouth, I believe it was called. Eddie.
No, Know Your Role out. So SmackDown 2, Know Your Role, PS1. God, that's going back some fucking years. Do you know what? I remember you could basically... The short answer is Kane, believe it or not. But the long answer is I made a blue Kane, which for some reason I decided to call Zayn with an X. But he was slightly taller than Kane and slightly bigger than Kane, but also slightly faster than Kane. So he was more like a high flying Kane. But yeah, that was my one. I don't know why.
I think mine was The Undertaker because I seem to remember he was in a blue denim shirt and blue denim jeans.
He was.
And he'd just come back in 2000, and he could do, as a finisher or a special, he could do a chokeslam from the top rope through the announce table, like he did on Shane McMahon at the 2000 King of the Ring. And I just remember thinking that was absolutely incredible. So I just used to do that and save up 3 finishers and hit 3 of them. Yeah, Taker.
Mm.
And a shout out to D'Lo Brown, because I always liked that running powerbomb thing that he used to do. And he used to shoot. He used to shoot the air before he done it. So yeah.
Mine was Viscera.
Oh, that was WrestleMania 2000 on the Nintendo 64.
Jerry 64.
I know. Yeah, I just wanted Dave to tell the story.
How long was that match?
I think it was about 54 minutes, maybe.
I think it was like 58-minute match between Fraz's Viscera going against Stone Cold Steve Austin in a King of the Ring match. On a night, we'd absolutely shit-faced because we'd been out and you were staying at mine that night. We're like, yeah, we'll just play a couple of games. 50-odd minutes. We're coming up to the 60-minute time limit. I mean, it's horrific. And what makes it even worse is not only did Fraz as Viscera, why he picked Viscera anyway, I don't know. Not only did he lose, but in the end, he just lost to a punch. It's like the match just got that bad. They'd kicked out of each other's finishes. They were swearing, controllers going across the room, absolute carnage. And then all of a sudden, Austin just punches him and pins him. And he's like, what the? Yeah.
It's a highlight of my life.
It was entertaining. Actually, it wasn't. That was the longest hour of my life.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your hot takes. If you have them, as I've already said, please leave them in the comments, like, share, subscribe if you're not already, because we post weekly wrestling content that you cannot miss. From me and the guys, adios amigos, there is a line in the sand. Be careful.